Hello, and welcome to the Berkeley Professionals English Business Writing Skills course. My name is Trevor Pickersgill, and I'm the Head Trainer and Program Director for Berkeley Pro. We hope you enjoy this online training and find the exercises helpful in your organization when you are writing to your international colleagues and counterparts in English. This program is designed to help you to write English emails and reports more quickly and clearly for improved efficiency and understanding, to be more focused on the needs and expectations of your readers to get their agreement more effectively, to get faster responses from your colleagues and contacts overseas to help you do your job better, and finally, to write more politely to communicate with superiors and counterparts more smoothly. Our training will consist of 7 units, each with 1 session of online training and an exercise, and an offline writing exercise followed up by a one-to-one feedback session with your Berkeley Pro business writing trainer. In Unit 1, you will learn the importance of being direct, to the point, and conclusion first in English business writing. In Unit 2, you will learn how important it is to be reader-focused in your emails and how that can make your communication more successful. In Unit 3, you will learn to structure your English emails in a logical and easy-to-follow style. In Unit 4, you will learn the importance of using active sentences in English to be clearer and to make your messages more confident and persuasive. In Unit 5, you will learn techniques to give bad news more politely and effectively, helping you to maintain a positive work relationship when you're working internationally. In Unit 6, you will learn to use the correct levels of politeness and the language for those different levels of politeness and formality for improved understanding. And finally, in Unit 7, you will learn how to avoid the typical mistakes people make when writing in English, and to make a formal business apology in a professional style. Now, let's move to Session 1. Here, you can see the 6 stages in a clear and effective email communication. In the first is the opening. You write an opening salutation. Dear Bob, Dear David, Dear Ms. Smith, Dear Dr. Wright, for a more professional, formal style. You will give some background or context to your email to indicate what the reader already knows or should already know. You can use phrases like "as you know," or "as you remember," or "as we talked about last time." In the third stage, you will state your purpose and objective in writing. It's important to put this as clearly as you can. And that way, your readers are more likely to follow through and you'll be able to get the response you need. In Step 4 is the reasoning. Give the reader a whiffy explaining why they should want to follow through and do what you want them to do. Now, what's a whiffy? Whiffy stands for, what's in it for you? What is the benefit your reader will get from the information in your email or for following through on your request? This is very important. If the reader doesn't see any benefit for them or for their organization, they're not likely to prioritize your request. In the 5th stage is a focus. Politely offer your reader a deadline. If you can give them a deadline and a reason for the deadline for responding, they're more likely to respond more quickly. And finally, a closing. Thank the reader and close the email positively. On pages 13 and 15, you'll find lots of sample phrases you can use for these 6 stages when you're writing your emails through all the 7 sessions in this course. In Unit 1, our focus is helping you to be more clear and direct. This means using short sentences, using an active sentence structure with a subject, verb, object, word order, getting straight to the point in your messaging, and keeping your language low context but polite. Now, when we talk about being low context, we can talk about low context cultures around the world. Low context cultures, messages aim to be clear, direct, specific, and as detailed as necessary for the reader. People will take personal responsibility for their tasks and mistakes. So this means using I, me, you in your messaging. And people will be more individualist in their thinking. In high context cultures, by contrast, messages are more subtle, more indirect, and readers need to read between the lines to understand the real message. Responsibility is typically divided among group members, so there's more focus on we and us. And people will be more group-oriented in how they think and how they act. Now, as we can see, Japan is about the most high context of high context cultures. And when you're communicating in English, you can see that you're mostly communicating with some of the most low context of low context cultures. So how can this lead to misunderstandings and miscommunication? We can see in Japanese English, people will say, maybe we can do it. So what's happening here in the Japanese English tatemae is people are translating very directly from very high context Japanese and rewriting in English, which is generally very low context. So in Japanese English, when people say, maybe we can do it, in Japan it means probably we can't. But in English, it means there's a 50% chance. In Japanese English, when people might say, it's difficult for us, of course, Japanese know the real meaning, that this is probably impossible. But in English, when people say this is difficult, we mean it's challenging. Maybe I need more time. Maybe I need more money. Maybe I need more people, more resources, but I can do it. It's difficult. In Japanese English, when people say, I understand, what Japanese people mean is, I'm listening to you. But in English, when saying I understand, there's a sense of agreement. In Japanese English, saying we will consider it, or we will consider your idea, or we will consider your proposal. Generally, this means we're not interested in your proposal. But in English, it sounds like that there's a very good chance of success. Japanese English saying, basically, I think so. And when Japanese people say that, it means I see your point, but I disagree. But to the English speaker, it sounds like we have 70% agreement on the fundamentals. So you can see how important it is to translate your thinking into low context English to avoid miscommunication. And yes, we can see in English, it means agreement, but in Japanese English, it means I'm listening to you or I see your point. Here is your being clear and direct exercise online. If you can make these messages more clear and direct, I wonder if you could do me a favor. I'm creating a summary of all regional supports and I really need some help with your report. I think there's a problem with it. The TPS data seems to be incomplete. Some data seems to be missing. If you could recheck and make sure the TPS data is complete, I would really appreciate it. Thanks. So please write a shorter, more clear, and direct version of this message in the box below. Please pause the video. Here's your second online exercise. I have to explain something urgently. This is about the Tabula software update. It will only run on the newest OS. Please do not try to download the updated software unless your computer is running Windows 10. If you install the updated Tabula software on computers running Windows 7 or Windows 8, it will not install properly. If you are using Windows 7 or Windows 8, please continue to use the current version of Tabula. Thank you for your attention. Now, in the box below, please write a shorter, more clear and direct version of this message. You can pause the video. And finally, please complete the Session 1 writing assignment that has been sent to you. And when you are finished, email it to assignments@berkeleypro.co.jp before the deadline. Your trainer will read it and provide feedback to you before Session 2 is scheduled to begin. Thank you very much. See you in Session 2.